Lowe's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV.
But where are those
Yeah, you right. Another edition of Family Guy coming your way, apparently. 4 straight episodes, as a matter of fact, till 6 p.m. Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground, canceled. Next up, The Family Guy. Drew Brees. That's right. It's New Orleans, Louisiana. Corey Johnson with you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Tough to beat Fantasy Friday. 2 big hours coming your way. We're with you till 6 p.m. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. Check us out. Our radio home. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. You can also check out the program on New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. 107.9 FM. From Baton Rouge to southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, even the panhandle of Florida, 600 AM. North Shore, I-10, I-12 corridor. 600 AM. CoreyTalks.com, live streaming. CoreyTalks.com. You can check us out there. Audio, video, live streaming. CoreyTalks.com. Corey spelled K-A-A-R-E. K-A-A-R-E. You can email us, Corey at CoreyTalks.com anytime. We're on YouTube, by the way. Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground. Our fledgling YouTube channel needs your help. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't cost nothing. Send the link to friends and family. Check us out on YouTube, live every afternoon, 4 to 6 o'clock. Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground. We're on television. The first 90 minutes of the 2-hour radio program. The first hour and a half of the 2-hour radio program simulcast on TV. That means live on the radio, live on television, all over Louisiana. If you subscribe to Cox Television, I'm there every weekday afternoon for 90 minutes, 4 to 5:30. Cox Channel 4, weekday afternoon starting at 4. That's Your View, Louisiana. Cox Channel 4, all over Louisiana, 4 to 5:30 weekdays. Check us out. Do the DVR gimmick. If you are a Charter television subscriber, a.k.a. Spectrum, anywhere in Louisiana, Spectrum Channel 333, 3 cubed, 333, Spectrum, 4 to 5:30 weekdays. Lots of ways to check out the program. Yeah, you right. Thanks for doing it on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program, 4 o'clock hour. Jazz Fest day number 1 going on right now as we speak. About 3 hours almost left, 2:45 plus. They go till 7 p.m. tonight. Most of the major stages, at least, have music till 7 p.m. Even the minor stages have music till 6:20, 6:30, 6:40. They reopen tomorrow at 11. Supposed to be some rain tomorrow, but who knows? And if it does rain, how much comes down? And if it does rain, how much comes down? And does it hit that area of town? And I'm not going to give you a percentage, 60, 40, it's going to rain. I have no idea. It's like a 60, 70% chance. I mean, obviously, when the guys are like, or girls, meteorologists, 10, 20, 30%, I'm like, it's exactly that, about a 10, 20, 30% chance we're going to get rain. When it's 60, 70%, you're like, That's a little more significant. There's a lot more confidence they have in it raining. It's at that level for tomorrow. But again, it could come down not nearly as much as suspected or hit or miss entire areas of the metro, including the Jazz Fest site. So I don't even have to say this. Anyone that has a, Saturday ticket, or they only can go tomorrow, their ticket's only good first weekend, only good on Saturday. Saturday tomorrow is the only day they can go of the 7. They're going to Jazz Fest tomorrow. And I would say chances are better than not that it's kind of a minor rain event, like a slight inconvenience more than a deluge like Saturday at French Quarter Fest a few weeks ago where they had to shut down for 2 hours. Anyway, rain expected tomorrow. Sunday's supposed to be perfect like today. Maybe even slightly cooler. It's pretty nice outside right now. Temperatures around 80, 81, maybe a little lower than normal humidity. The breeze that's sort of blowing, and there is a breeze. It's not hot wind. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's some cool northerly breeze that's, like air conditioning, but it's not hot like we're in June or July, August. So no, pretty darn nice weather day for Jazz Fest right now. Sunday's supposed to be maybe slightly better. No rain and maybe a little less humidity, a little lower temperatures by a couple of degrees or so. An IG report released. Cantrell's security team lacks written policies, no chain of command, horrible internal paperwork, just winging it. Like so many New Orleans entities, just winging it. I love the IG. It's such an important position. Could expand the office, double the size and budget of the office. So many audits, investigations, reports that need to be done. Scrutinizing New Orleans's, city government departments, where the money goes, how those offices are operated, their policies, their game plan, their objectives. I mean, we see the Sewage and Water Board, their ineptness because it rains and the street physically floods. All these other offices kind of get to hide, kind of go under the radar. The IG exposes them. If they've got their you-know-what together, they're well-run, they're smoothly operated, those office people would love to share what they're doing with the IG. But if you have an office that is just totally winging it, no plan, no purpose, no objective. They can't produce any paperwork. Anyone doing an investigation or audit of that agency would be like, my God, the dysfunction here is off the charts. Governor John Bell Edwards at that 504 FORE site, the golf entertainment complex that's going to be built. I guess construction will resume with the new investment group, the Old Times-Picayune building at Howard Avenue and Broad Street, right on the interstate, right on the Pontchartrain Expressway. Governor John Bell Edwards basically saying the Top Golf proposal at the River District site, race and Annunciation right on the river, basically. John Bell Edwards says that proposal is unnecessary. You got these guys that John Bell Edwards at the site, they want to open a golf driving range, multi-story driving range, restaurant, golf games, kind of sports bar restaurant with a driving range, triple decker, high tech, Top Golf. They want to open on the river. 504 wants to open by the Old Times-Picayune building. Top Golf, regardless of 504's plans, they seem ready to move forward. The 504 folks are like, we don't want to see Top Golf. It shouldn't be happening. The governor's getting involved now. It's just kind of mind-blowing. We don't need a Wendy's and a Burger King. We only need the Burger King. I mean, who is the governor to interject into that? It's mind-blowing. They're two different sites. They have different taxing, what they can do, what kind of help they're going to get from the public. It's capitalism with some caveats. And ideally, both get built. I mean, I get the sentiment. I get it. But I don't think it's the governor's place to say one's unnecessary. Anyway, this is sort of deja vu. Act 2, we've seen this before. Same thing. Instead of 504 Golf, it was Drive Shack and Top Golf by the river. And then one bailing out and then the other bailing out. Just mind-blowing. Hey, Rouse's Markets, it's mind-blowing. Crawfish season live by the sack. Take them home, boil them yourself. Rouse's Markets. Don't want to mess with that. Just want to consume the crawfish. Ready to eat. Hot from the pot all day long. Rouse's Markets. And it's Rouse's Markets, Thibodaux, Houma, New Orleans folks. They know how to boil crawfish. They've been doing it for decades and decades, for generations. Hot from the pot all day long. Steaming hot crawfish, spiced right. Rouse's Markets. Live by the sack. Bring them home, boil them yourself. Rouse's Market. Best quality, best selection. Tastes like home. It's crawfish season. Rouse's Markets. Fletcher Mackel, Channel 6, joins us next.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal: everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good, and we need to prove it every day, every deal, all of the time.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
River Cities. Total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Today is the day you do the painting project. Beautiful weather day. Knock out that paint project. Helm Paint and Decorating is there for you. This is a New Orleans born and bred based company over half a century, taking care of you. Helm Paint and Decorating. Tomorrow, some rain expected in the forecast. That's not a day you just throw in the towel with your painting project. That's a day you go to one of the 7 physical Helm locations and pick out your colors. Get all the supplies you need. Or do it from home online. Pick your Benjamin Moore colors, Helm Paint and Decorating, free 2-hour delivery. Yeah, when you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, do it once, do it right. Helm Paint and Decorating. Corey Johnson with you, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Fletcher Mackel joins us again, Channel 6 Sports. I'm in the oh, yeah category, not the oh, no category. What do you think of that, Fletch?
I like it.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. You know what I hear? What mostly people bump into me and they're like, you know, the Mackles. I'm like, yeah, I know them. Yeah, nice guys. You think so? I'm like, yeah. And then I either get I like them or I don't like them.
I hope there's more I like them.
I think there's a lot more I like them's. But there's definitely some I don't like them. And I don't get it. I don't get the I don't like. Like, you're definitely opinionated. But it's not like you're kind of a jerk. You're not like you're, hey, let me just stir the hornet's nest because I can stick a stick in it and roll it up. You're very kind of fair and objective. I mean, I don't agree with everything you say, and I don't think anyone does, but I don't get the like, the way I hear folks kind of go off on you that they don't like you or your brother. I don't get it. I don't know. What do you think that's about?
I don't know. We can just, you know, they don't do it to me. So
no, they never. Of course not. I was in Lakeside one day walking through the thing, and this guy and girl are murmuring something. They're looking at me, and they just look at me the whole time. I'm kind of like, hey, how you doing? The guy's like, hey. And then as they walk by, he goes, he's such a, and says something derogatory. And I turn and go, oh, I'm such a blank. And then, no, man. And you know, he's all apologetic, but no, rarely do folks say it in front of you. But occasionally you'll get someone, I'm sure, that's, I'm sure you've been pseudo accosted before. Some night at a bar or restaurant, someone half drunk, half sober, just ripping you on some Saints take or something. Hey, Mackel, you're wrong. Like trying to, you know, be funny in front of their friends. I'm sure you've experienced that in your 20 plus years in New Orleans journalism.
Sure. Now on social media, people do, you know, it's funny. People will do things on social media that they would never do in person. But I'll say this, you know, I really try not to pay attention, to be honest with you. Like, if what you're saying is true, is that everybody's got opinions. It's sports, it's entertainment, and it's one of those things where you try to do it in a fun, entertaining, informative, comprehensive way. And if, you know, people don't like it, I don't really pay much attention to it. I feel like, okay, great. Then I'm sure there's other things you can like and, you know, and figure out what you like, but I don't really, you know.
No, and then there's some guys that you can tell, Fletch, they are looking for the controversy. They thrive on the people ripping them, and they like that more than the people praising them. No, I just never understood when people would have a derogatory comment about you, or like Jeff Duncan. On social media, sometimes Jeff Duncan just gets ripped, and I'm just like, my God, it's like he was suggesting you get, you know, this certain beer with your meal, or, you know, try the gumbo or something, and he's getting ripped like he's, you know, I'm just like, wow, really? Just I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's nature of the beast, social media.
Yeah. I try. I mean, obviously, I like social media and it's part of what we do now. But I sometimes the nameless, faceless people. I always, every now and then, I had a family friend and her son saw something on social media, and he goes, "Boy, the Pelicans must hate you." I saw somebody on social media say that they can't believe they let you go to games still. And I go,
wow.
Where'd you see that? And he showed me. And I go, you do realize that's a nameless, faceless person that could be a criminal, like living God knows where. And I go, like, I certainly wouldn't pay attention to that person. And then he's like, you know what? Maybe you're right. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm right. Like, I think that some rando like that hides behind some crazy name is not the person I would be paying attention to on social media.
Yeah, exactly. Fletcher Mackel's with us from WDSU Channel 6 Sports. First round last night, NFL draft. The Saints select deep into the draft, deep into the night. They don't move up or move down. Tell us about the Clemson defensive tackle. Brian, Bresee?
Yeah, Bresee. Bresee, I believe, is the correct pronunciation. Brian Bresee. And yeah, look, he seems like a really good player. He was the number one defensive recruit coming out of high school, and he dealt with some injuries, so the injury situation is something to monitor. He had a torn ACL, he had a shoulder issue. He's also dealt with some real unfortunate adversity in his life that young people shouldn't have to deal with. His 15-year-old sister, less than a year ago, passed away from an aggressive form of brain cancer.
Wow.
And so he and his family having to deal with that. He missed games last year because of that, and obviously his maturity level is pretty strong. Look, Saints have kind of telegraphed their picks in the last few years. We should have all known this. I remember, 3 years ago, they drafted Cesar Ruiz. Sean Payton spent all offseason saying we need to get better on the interior of the offensive line, and then they draft Cesar Ruiz. Last year, everybody knew they needed help at tackle and at wide receiver with the whole Michael Thomas situation. And what did they do? They drafted Chris Olave and Trevor Penning. This year, we knew they let their defensive line walk in free agency. 3 of their 4 starters, the Saints made no effort to sign. Marcus Davenport, David Onyemata, and Shai Tuttle all walked in free agency. And so, yes, they did sign 2 players, one from the Chiefs and one from the Jets in free agency. But they still needed some depth at the defensive tackle position. So, again, I was one of these people who's trying to think, at 29, are the defensive linemen going to be gone? Could they throw a curveball at us? But they just really don't. Like, it's one of those things where, the Saints don't exactly try to hide and be cute with what they do. Even going back to Sean Payton, I think a lot of the mock drafts I saw had either Miles Murphy or Brian Bresee, the 2 Clemson tackles, playing for the Saints, and they went back-to-back. One went to Cincinnati at 28, Murphy, and Bresee came to New Orleans at 29. So, like tonight, I would be shocked if in the 2 picks tonight, the Saints don't address offensive guard, tight end, and running back. Like, if there's 2 picks tonight, and if 2 of those 3 aren't offensive guard, a tight end, or a running back, next week I'll tell you that I can't believe it. I'm shocked. Because
what about defensive end tonight?
What's up?
What about defensive end, a pass rusher tonight?
Look, I think defensive end is a need, but look, you still have Cam Jordan, and he's coming off a solid season. You invested a first-round draft pick in Peyton Turner, so I still think they're invested in him. They're not ready to just punt on him. 2 years ago, he was a first-round draft pick. They re-signed Tano Passanao. They still have Carl Granderson. I certainly think if the right defensive end is there in round 2 or 3, like Andre Carter from Army is a guy that I think they could definitely invest in the 3rd round. So yeah, if the right guy is there, yes. But I certainly think interior offensive line, Andres Pete has dealt with injuries the last few years. There was talk of him being a salary cap casualty. They can get out of his contract after this year. Cesar Ruiz is now entering last year of his deal, coming off a foot injury. So to me, having somebody there that can step in for those guys and potentially replace those guys, I can see them investing there. I look, they tried to sign Foster Moreau, or were planning on signing Foster Moreau. Thankfully, the Saints doctors caught his cancer early, and let's hope he makes a full, fast recovery. But they were looking to upgrade at tight end. You know, at least to have somebody battle Adam Troutman for that starting job. I certainly think they could address that position. And then, running back and defensive end, I certainly think may not be as big of a need, but if the right guy is there, I think they could do it.
Tonight, round 2, 7 minutes between picks. Round 3, 5 minutes between picks. It'll go a little faster than yesterday. What picks overall do the Saints have tonight?
40, so they're picking early in the second round, in 71 early. This is their pick. So last night, Philadelphia was picking 10 and then traded up, moved up a spot. So the Saints are now back to their picks, so to say. That pick 29 came from Denver for the Sean Payton deal, because the Saints traded their pick last year, which went to Philadelphia, and then the Saints being 7 and 10, that pick ended up as pick 10 overall. So now the Saints have an early pick in the second round and an early pick in the third round. And look, those are high-value picks. Realize since Jeff Ireland got here, I would make the argument that he's hit on far more second and third rounders than he has on first rounders. Davenport didn't work out. Peyton Turner may not work out. Cesar Ruiz is a starter, but just a starter. He's not exceptional. But you look at the second round and the third round, since Jeff Ireland got here, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Pete Werner, Alante Taylor. I'm trying to think of Eric McCoy, who's a top 10 center in the league. I mean, they've really, Trey Hendrickson, who unfortunately left here and has gone on to become a really great player with the Bengals. Yeah. Second and third round is where Jeff Ireland, overseeing the draft, has really done some great work. And having two high-value picks like that, this is where I think the Saints have to get guys that are going to contribute right away.
Yeah, guys that you need some starters tonight. Ideally, a couple of starters, at least one. Fletch, hang on. Fletcher Mackel's with us from WDSU Channel 6 Sports. Corey Johnson with you on a Fantasy Friday.
Hey guys, it's Frank Smith from LasVegasGambling.com with your weekend 5-star lock of the week. Lock of the week. Take the Lakers and the points over the Clippers. Sell the house, sell the boat, sell your children. Send grandma away and take the money. Put everything you've got on this 5-star selection. It's the Lakers over the Clippers. And we've also got a fantastic 5-star parlay as well. Call us now, 888-555-7777. It's Frank Smith, a.k.a. The Hammer, from LasVegasGambling.com. Do it now.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top bench more exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. You know what that means? Another edition of Fridays with Fletcher Mackel from WDSU Channel 6 Sports joins us again on a Friday because he's a glutton for punishment. Hey, Fletch, what, it's about 21 years, 22 years at Channel 6 for you?
It will be 21 in August.
Isn't that unbelievable?
It does. Time flies, yes.
That's like Keith Allen type stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Hecht was like 50 years in Louisiana, from Monroe to Baton Rouge to New Orleans. So he did a long time in the state.
Yeah, I think I remember him in Baton Rouge. What was he out at Channel 9 or 2? I think 9, huh?
I'm not even sure. I know it was he's from North Louisiana, so he started his career while he was a student in college, and then was in, I want to say maybe Lafayette, Baton Rouge, and then here in New Orleans. So, but yeah, he did a long haul.
Now, when did you find out that him bringing the guitar to work wasn't just him playing guitar himself, but going to Children's Hospital and playing for kids? When did you find that out?
I mean, right when I got here, we used to do the big telethon, the Children's Miracle Network telethon, which was, a big partnership with our station. We still do stuff. I don't know. I think telethons, before, in the age of social media and streaming now, you don't see a whole lot of telethons anymore. But we did that. So my first year here was 0203. And so I remember we did the telethon, and that's when it was wait, he goes to Children's Hospital on his off time, and he does all these songs for these, children. I mean, it's just, that's when you're wow, that's pretty noble, and strong. Yeah.
Yeah. No, when I heard that, I was wow. Had a whole always respected and liked Heath, but it took it to an entirely different level.
Yeah, I agree.
Did it make you realize you don't do anything civic-minded? You're very selfish and you do nothing for the citizens of New Orleans? Did it make you realize that?
It definitely is humbling. I'll say that. It makes you look at and say, what am I doing to benefit, my community and, people in my life and, even just to quote unquote be a man for others. And it's you try to think you do good in some capacities, and then, you meet people like Heath, and then you realize, oh no, I probably could do better.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's exactly what I thought. I was oh my God, I'm terrible. Jeez and Pete's. Fletch, I know you want to talk about this. He was your mentor, your idol. You dreamed of being him. Jerry Springer passed away.
I saw that. I saw Jerry Springer, Tulane graduate, former mayor of Cincinnati.
Yep.
Obviously, like the first kind of like shock talk show, syndicated back when. I mean, that was an era when when syndicated TV started to become a massive thing in the 80s and then through the 90s. I mean, obviously, Oprah was the gold standard. But when you think of, Phil Donahue and Sally Jesse Raphael, I mean, Jerry Springer became like, what did they say, like the ringmaster whose syndicated program became, the first one to kind of, to basically own, we're not trying to be classy and make a difference. We're entertainment. And we're doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm at Young's Dry Cleaning on Claiborne's across from Tulane, speaking of Tulane. And they've got the TV on with the caption running on the bottom. And it's just some woman on Springer. And she's like at like a dais or something. And then her sister's sitting in a chair off to the side. She has something to tell her sister. It's like sleeping with the husband or the boyfriend. I mean, that's what that is. And that's exactly what it was. I guess it's like bad Phil Donahue.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was just like at the time, like syndicated talk show television was, it was what everybody was doing. And look, I didn't watch Jerry Springer. I didn't watch Phil Donahue or Sally Jesse Raphael. I got to admit, I did watch Oprah. I mean, look, Angela had the show locally. Remember the Angela show was a big deal locally.
Yep.
And so like, I know what it is and what it was. And Jerry Springer was a huge personality, but I didn't really watch his show growing up or even as a young adult.
You heard it, folks, here. You heard it here first. Fletcher Mackel watched Oprah.
I did. I thought Oprah was good. There were times that depending on what the guest was, who the guest was. Yeah, I thought Oprah was a really good syndicated talk show. I mean, that was like the gold standard, if you will. That's why it was the most successful one that lasted as long as it did.
Number 4 on Fletcher Mackel's must-watch television list, The View.
See, I'm not a View person. I like Ellen from time to time. I watched the Ellen show because it was on our WDSU for so long. But I really, and it wasn't like I watched Oprah religiously, but I do remember, she'd always get like the big guests, the big stars, the big politicians, the big talkers. So obviously, because if you're interested in news, sports, entertainment, she was one of the people at the forefront of always having it first. So, it was always, I always thought it was a good show.
Now, if you ever write a book, you want her endorsing it, and then you'll sell 1 million copies. Fletcher Mackel's with us Fridays with Fletch. Hey, Lebanon's Cafe is with you. They'll go till 9:30 tonight. They're open right now. Outdoor dining, under the green awning, under the oak trees. The weather is fantastic. Some of the finest Middle Eastern food, outdoor uptown setting on the streetcar line. Tough to beat Lebanon's Cafe tonight for dinner. Outdoor dining at Lebanon's Cafe. So good. Hey, Fletch, any final thoughts on the Saints draft? A couple of picks tonight. You were mentioning number 40 and number 71 overall.
Yeah, and look, I always say this. Every team thinks they just drafted a half a dozen future Hall of Famers, that it's going to go down as the greatest draft in NFL history. And the reality is we have no clue. You'll know more in a couple of years. I mean, look, just go back to 2017. The Saints drafted Ryan Ramczyk when they already had 2 starting tackles. They drafted Alvin Kamara in the 3rd round, and people said, "Oh, is he a scat back? He left Bama. Tennessee wasn't great with him." And that draft turned out to be Trey Hendrickson from Florida Atlantic. Who is this dude? And that draft has turned out to be one of the greatest in recent history. It featured 2 rookies of the year, a ton of productive players. I remember 2006. I go back and tell people all the time, Mel Kiper and a lot of the draft experts, they drafted Reggie Bush, and I remember people just dumping on it, going, it's Reggie Bush and a bunch of reaches. Roman Harper in the 2nd round is a reach. Jari Evans from Bloomsburg is a guy that may never develop and is years away. Zach Strief was like not going to make the team. Marcus Colston, and it turned out to be this amazing draft. So, so to me, like, I feel like great. I'm one of these people that doesn't go hardcore. They're great. or I don't trash it because I feel like we'll know more in 2 or 3 years about the draft.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Fletcher Mackel's with us, another edition of Fridays with Fletch. The NBA playoffs continue, Fletch. Boys, some 7 and 8 seeds giving 1s and 2s a run for their money.
I mean, the NBA playoffs have been unbelievable. Highest rated playoffs in 12 years. I mean, look, what Miami did against Milwaukee is historic. They're the first 8 seed to upset a 1 since 2007 when Golden State knocked off Dallas. So 8 seeds, this isn't like the NFL where wild cards win the Super Bowl. In the NBA, 7 and 8 seeds don't pop 1 and 2 seeds. It's just so rare.
Yeah.
So to see Miami was a play-in team. They're the first team to come through the play-in, which started 3 years ago in the bubble when the NBA resumed. So the first team through the play-in to win a playoff series, and they're only the second in, I think, the last 20 years, 8 to upset a 1 in a 7-game series. So, yeah, I mean, look, I don't love the Lakers, but the Lakers, having Memphis on the brink right now is pretty interesting as well. So the playoffs have been fantastic.
No, they have been. And the great thing about the NBA playoffs, Fletch, they're 8 weeks long. The last 2 weeks in April, the entire month of May, and then the first couple of weeks in June. It's the best postseason in pro sports, and it's not even close.
Yeah, I agree with you. It means more. Sometimes I wish the regular season meant as much because there are times when there's some lulls and maybe you don't get guys playing quite as hard as they are now. But to echo what you're saying about the playoffs, I mean, these games have been epic. I mean, just guys going as hard as they ever have, and we've seen some great games.
Kim Mulkey wins the national championship in year 2. She's got the number 1 recruiting class coming in. She just nailed down Van Lith, the Louisville transfer through the transfer portal. She has another All-American visiting as we speak from the transfer portal. Lady Tiger basketball, wow. And now she's got the stroke to ask for a new PMAC.
Yeah, I mean, look, getting Haley Van Lith yesterday was a monster get. I mean, she put up numbers that were comparable to Caitlin Clark, who was the player of the year in women's college basketball. So, I mean, look, she's already got Angel Reese and Flau'jae Johnson and a really solid team. And as you said, the number 1 recruiting class, and she's just stacking them up right now. I mean, this is a burgeoning dynasty here, that could replicate some of those Gino Auriemma UConn years or even the Mulkey Baylor years when you knew, hey, this team is a buzzsaw, and in the Final Four is almost a given for them. And
it's unprecedented where you have a ladies coach, especially in Louisiana, dictating a new building.
I know. She's at the floor of the state capitol saying, we've done our part, now do yours, talking about getting them a new facility. But look, here's the thing. It's good for her. I mean, she's one of these iconic coaches that is, she was a legend before she got here and a Hall of Famer, and to win the national championship, she makes people listen.
Exactly. She's earned her $2 million+ a year salary and bonuses. Fletch, always a pleasure, brother. Have a good weekend.
All right, great, thanks.
That's Fletcher Mackel, WDSU Channel 6 Sports.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
Fantasy Friday edition of the program, 4 o'clock hour. Brought to you by Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. New Orleanians that know Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, especially when it comes to engagement rings, diamond engagement rings, diamond wedding bands, real diamonds, natural diamonds, 1 billion years old. Don't be fooled. These so-called diamond stores in and around New Orleans peddling 3-week-old man-made lab-created diamonds. Natural diamonds, limited quantity. Real, 1 billion years old, appreciate in value versus 3-week-old, man-made, lab-created, fake diamonds that only depreciate in value and at a rapid rate as the market gets flooded with lab-created 3-week-old man-made diamonds. Don't make the mistake. It's a lifetime purchase. It's for her. Your significant other. Make it real diamonds. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. Like Ken Friend says, you have a friend in the jewelry business. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. The Carrollton section of Uptown near the River Bend. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, 4 o'clock hour on this Fantasy Friday edition of the program. On radio, television, live on YouTube, brought to you by Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. 5 o'clock power hour, just moments away. Thanks so much for checking us out. Jazz Fest Day 1 going on now as we speak. A little over 2 hours left in Jazz Fest 2023 Day 1. They'll go till 7 p.m. and then they'll crank it back up tomorrow, 11 a.m. till 7. Great day today. Look outside. Look at this weather. About 81, 82 degrees, less than 50% humidity, so it feels lower than the temperature essentially out there. Not hot, not humid. Really nice day for Jazz Fest. Glad to see it. Tomorrow, rain is expected from like 9, 10 in the morning into the late afternoon, but who knows? Who knows? It's like a 70% chance of rain. But does that mean the entire area gets rain? What parts do, what parts don't? The parts that do, is it torrential rain? Is it a light rain? I'm optimistic. Hopefully it's just that kind of cloudy day, nice breeze blowing out of the north, little lower temperatures, little lower humidity, and no rain. You remember a few weeks ago for French Quarter Fest, Wednesday and Thursday, the day before and day 1 of French Quarter Fest, that Thursday, supposed to rain. It rained like a drizzle on that Wednesday morning, nothing the rest of Wednesday, no rain at all on Thursday. So I'm optimistic. Hopefully tomorrow, minimal to no rain for Jazz Fest Day 2. But they go till 7 p.m. tonight. It's weekend number 1. Today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Next week, 4 days. Locals Thursday, and then the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, you can feel the vibe. If you're downtown, you're driving by the hotels, just lots of people coming in and out of the front doors of the hotels. The Bellmans are real busy. Restaurants, music clubs, bar rooms are packed to the gills. The Bywater, Marigny Triangle, French Quarter, CBD, Warehouse District, all kind of bustling right now. A lot of activity, a lot of buzz in town. No, folks come in, a lot of tourists from the East Coast, a lot of international tourists from Europe. No, Jazz Fest is gigantic. I mean, it's arguably the greatest music festival in the world. You could argue for the bang for the buck, the food, the music, the cultural experience, the best music festival in the world. It's in New Orleans, the music city of the world. So yeah, it's got a pulse. It's got a lot of folks from around the world. And, you know, have we done a great job marketing and promoting Jazz Fest, the Jazz Fest folks, the last decade plus? Yeah, they have. Post-Katrina, they've done a really good job. You have Shell as a corporate sponsor when that wouldn't have even been thought about pre-Katrina. And it's all worked out fine. But this all grew organically, just word of mouth, New Orleans, a New Orleans music festival through the 70s, through the 80s, into the 90s. It got bigger locally and then regionally. And then you had a lot of, I guess, I don't know, New York kids that went to Tulane, and then they came back down and they started spreading the word. I don't know how it grew, but it wasn't marketing and promotion. It was just sort of organically growing. And now that, the length of time, the quality, the price, and the marketing make it a huge event. Supposedly, it's double digits. North of 10% of folks at Jazz Fest come from Metro New York. And then another north of 10%, 10, 12, 15% come from Europe. So you add the New York folks and the European folks, it's like 1 out of 4 people, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 at worst at Jazz Fest are from New York City or from Europe. No, it's that big. No, thank God, because it just huge for restaurants and bars and music clubs. Speaking of, I've got a lot of restaurant sponsors, clients on this program. One good thing about the places I tend to promote, they're kind of off the tourist beaten path, like Lebanon's Cafe I mentioned a few minutes ago. How about Trey Yen in Mandeville tonight? 25 short minutes from Lakeside Mall. Wait till the traffic dies down a little after 6. You can be in the car by Lakeside with friends and family, and in 25 short minutes, you're pulling into the parking lot at Trey Yen in Mandeville tonight for dinner. 5 o'clock powwow.
You're
now
on the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 5 p.m. Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Come on down to New Orleans' own Bourbon Street, the toilet of the Crescent City. Literally. Need to urinate? Pee right on one of the historic buildings. Need to vomit? It's okay. Throw up right in the street. Bourbon Street. Prostitution, drugs, strip joints, daiquiri shops, and trinket stores. The toilet of the Crescent City. Come on down. It's Bourbon Street.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint. and Supply. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Uh-oh, MTV. Hey, everyone. I'm Nina Blackwood. Welcome to MTV. Mr. Drew Brees, please. Old number 9 bailing us out. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Jazz Fest Day 1 going on as we speak. Can I get a yeah, you right from you? Corey Johnson with you. Like I said, Fantasy Friday. It's Friday afternoon. The weekend is upon us. 5 o'clock powwow. That means 100% of the work week's in the books. The weekend is upon us. I love it. I love it. Hey, on a Friday, we normally catch a visit from Michael Hecht, Greater New Orleans, Inc., but he will not be joining us this Friday. He will be back next week with some economic news. That segment is usually brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, and they're hiring. This company does not stop. They've been on a tear. Just unprecedented growth for about 25 straight years all around the world. That means their headquarters, their campus in Elmwood, over 80 acres. They're looking for you. A culture of innovation. They're looking for you. Lots of jobs available at Latrim. Go to their website for a full listing of positions available at their Elmwood campus. Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M. Latrim.com. You North Shore folks, you do not have to come across the lake. Just beeline down the I-12. Latrim's North Shore facility is hiring. Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. And it's not 2 or 3 job openings. You go to Latrim.com, dozens and dozens and dozens of job openings. Latrim.com, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. About 2 hours left in the day at Jazz Fest. They'll go till about 7. Some of those stages, the smaller or I guess not the main headlining stages. The acts could end at 6:30, 6:40 tonight. The big stage is usually till 7, 7:05, something like that. Jazz Fest Day 1, a couple of more hours left. They'll do it again tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tomorrow, some rain expected, but I wouldn't let it cancel your day. It's not like they're like torrential rainstorms. You can park on the neutral ground. Flooding's expected. It's not like that. But rain is expected like all day tomorrow. Starting like before the gates open at 11 and rolling until mid to late afternoon. That's what is predicted. Who knows if it's going to rain in the entire metro New Orleans area? The areas that do get it, is it going to be like a deluge or is it going to just be minor, quick and easy? Maybe just a lot of cloud cover over the fairgrounds and Gentilly tomorrow. A nice breeze blowing, lower humidity, and no rain. Who knows? I can tell you what, if I had a Saturday ticket or the only day I could go would be tomorrow, I would not let the rain deter me. Sunday's supposed to be nicer than right now. Sunny, but maybe a couple of degrees cooler. Right now we're in the low 80s. Sunday expecting just to be in the high 70s. And low humidity like today, 40-something% humidity right now, which is huge. So it's not hot. It's not humid. Great afternoon. Great first day weather-wise at Jazz Fest 2023. Hopefully tomorrow, if there is rain, it's just minor, a little speed bump. Comes and goes quickly. Ideally, no rain at all. And then Sunday's supposed to be better than today. Sunny, clear, even 5 degrees cooler maybe, high 70s instead of low 80s. Yeah, you're right. Jazz Fest, plus the nighttime concerts. I mean, Hank and the crew at Maple Leaf on Oak Street, I'm sure they got stuff going down at 10 p.m. tonight, which means that band will start about 10:40. They probably have a second act, they'll play a couple of sets, and then there'll be another band that comes on at 12:30, 1 in the morning. Maybe one that cranks up at 2:30 in the morning. Lots of nighttime concerts, venues all over the city. You can go to WOZ, check them out on the radio. They always have that live wire concert schedule. Or just Google it. No, we're the music city of the world. The number one place in the world for music. For live music, for every genre of music. If it didn't outright come from New Orleans, our city had a major influence on it. It was influenced big time by the city of New Orleans and our culture and our people and our existing music. So much talent and creativity in the city of New Orleans. It's mind-blowing. Anyway, this is when we shine the best. I mean, we are great at festivals. We're great at parties, celebrations, Mardi Gras and the like. We are great at food and enjoying food and cooking food and lots of different types of food. We are great at music. Just what I was talking about, all these genres of music that we created or had a major influence on. I mean, you put all that together, festivals and a party, food, music, and we're not good at it. We're not very good at it. We're great at it, like the best in the world at it. Nighttime, entertainment, just tough to beat. And it's all real and authentic. It's not like Las Vegas created. It's not some Super Bowl venue with their own version of the French Quarter. How comical was that? Was it Detroit, I believe, hosting a Super Bowl? They had the fake French Quarter. Hey, guys, how about listening to Philadelphia Eagles owner, and this was the owner from 40 years ago, Norman Brayman. He was like, East Coast guy, owned the Eagles. No connection to New Orleans at all. Super Bowl should be in New Orleans every year. The NFL will never do that. They want to spread it out, but fans participating, folks going. You don't have to go to Detroit and have a fake French Quarter. You go to New Orleans and have the real French Quarter. Anyway, Jazz Fest, day one, going on now till 7. What we do best. What we do best. Parties and festivals, food and music. Tough to beat. Maybe the best music festival in the world. And although we complain about $90 tickets, and that's expensive in New Orleans, I don't know if you could name another city in America where the ticket price would be less. If it were in Austin, Texas, or Nashville, Tennessee, it'd be north of $90. And if it were in major places like New York, LA, San Francisco, Chicago, it's going to be north of $150. Might be somewhere around $200 on up. No, Jazz Fest at $90. The number of music venues, the number of food venues, the quality of both, pretty tough to beat. Hey, every single weekday afternoon, 2 big hours on the radio, 90 minutes on TV. We're on YouTube live streaming. It's all brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. In Kenner, on the car corner, Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kenner. Lamarck Ford, number one Ford dealership in the region. Lamarck Lincoln, number one Lincoln dealership in the state. Right on the car corner, Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kenner. Right on the corner, right on the price. The Lamarck Automotive Complex. And now under the Lamarck umbrella, the city's Ford truck and SUV dealership. That's right. Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood, Harahan, Jefferson Highway at Horde, right before Hickory. Every day, this radio and television program, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. We're on YouTube. Brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. And now, Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway in Elmwood. Ronnie Lamarck does not slow down. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. An IG report on Cantrell's security team. Governor John Bel Edwards is for one driving range and golf, sports bar, restaurant, entertainment complex, and against another one? Why? Why should he even have an opinion on this? Strange. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. 5 o'clock powwow. Don't move.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Speaking of, they just opened their doors 20 minutes ago for the evening. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. And because it's Friday night, like Saturday night, they'll go till 10 p.m. Dinner Monday through Saturday night, Monday through Thursday, 5 to 9, Friday and Saturday night, 5 to 10 p.m. You can dine inside at the dining room. You can sit at the bar, watch NBA playoff action while you enjoy some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. Or you can eat outside, white tablecloth, outdoor dining at Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. When the weather's like this, I highly recommend outdoor dining at Fausto's on Vets. You won't be disappointed. Tonight for dinner, they're open till 10 p.m. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. Jazz Fest day number 1, sort of wrapping up over the next hour and 40 minutes. They'll go till 7 p.m. They'll crank it up tomorrow, 11 to 7. Tough to beat the weather they're having right now. High temperature today, like low 80s, 81, 82. Humidity's in the 40-something%, way below average. So it's not hot, humid, and sticky out at Jazz Fest. It's on 88 degrees, 85% humidity, just sweat fest. No, it's a really nice weather day. Sunday, supposed to be almost exactly like today, but maybe even a slight bit cooler. Like highs in the high 70s, not low 80s like today. That's on Sunday. Tomorrow, rain is expected at Jazz Fest. But if I had a ticket, tomorrow was the only day I could go, I'd be going tomorrow. Wouldn't let the meteorologist telling you about a rain threat slow things down. It might rain tomorrow at Jazz Fest. It might rain pretty hard. It may not rain at all. It may miss the entire Gentilly footprint over at the fairgrounds. Who knows? But I definitely would not bail tomorrow. Hopefully, if it does rain, it's just some little quick rain, 15 minutes in and out. I mean, honestly, a cloud-covered sky with no rain is ideal because it'll put the temperatures in the 70s. It'll up the breeze. The breeze right now is not hot and humid. It's kind of cool. So, no, I wouldn't mind the cloud cover if it doesn't rain tomorrow. I got no problem with the clouds. Anyway, I don't think it's going to be bad tomorrow. Sunday's supposed to be better than today. So far, so good. Jazz Fest weekend number 1, day number 1. They go till 7 p.m. out in Gentilly. Again, they open up the gates tomorrow at 11 a.m. An IG report, Mayor Cantrell's security team lacks written policies, lacks a chain of command, no internal paperwork, just winging it. Just ready, fire, aim, shooting from the hip. Speaking of shooting from the hip, I don't get this. I really don't. I mean, I kind of get it. I just don't know why government's getting involved in this. Governor John Bel Edwards was at the 504 golf entertainment venue that's going to start getting rebuilt again. Construction will resume, I guess. Construction started a few years ago. They got about 10% of the building built and then abandoned the project like 2 years ago. It was supposed to be a drive shack at the old Times-Picayune building, right on the Pontchartrain Expressway, right on the I-10. Howard Avenue at Broad, the old Times-Picayune building torn down. That big open area is supposed to be like, you folks that know Baton Rouge, like the Top Golf venue, the triple-decker driving range, sports bar, restaurant venue, right on the I-10 in Baton Rouge, right near the Mall of Louisiana. It's supposed to be almost the exact same thing. Drive Shack was the original company that was going to do it on the Times-Picayune site. Then Top Golf said, we're going to build up by the river. And then you had one dropout and then the other dropout. Now it is deja vu, as Yogi Berra would say, all over again. We've seen this before. Act 2. John Bell Edwards was at the 504 golf entertainment venue, Old Times-Picayune building, Pontchartrain Expressway, I-10, Howard Avenue at Broad. He basically said the Top Golf proposal at the River District site is unnecessary. It's unbelievable. Could you imagine? Hey, Wendy's wants to open on Claiborne, and right across the street, a Burger King's going to open. We find the Wendy's is okay, but the Burger King is unnecessary. I mean, could you imagine the governor getting involved in that? Yet getting involved in this for a second time. I mean, didn't politicians learn their lesson on this the first time around? Had not one, but two multi-level driving range entertainment complexes going down in New Orleans. One on the river by the River District site, one at the Old Times-Picayune building. One was named, another was coming. Because the other one was coming, the one that was named got all, their panties in a wad, got upset. Politicians started chiming in. Not only did one of the projects go away, both projects went away. You think the city would have learned something. You think the local politicians would have learned something. Learned nothing. Mouthing off again as shovels went in the ground to attempt to revive this former driving range sports complex at the Old Times-Picayune building. The governor's there, all for it. I think they get 2% of the taxing of the taxes they'll use to pay down their own investment. The governor's there, the mayor's there. They're all for this 504, spelled F-O-R-E, 504 golf, sports bar, restaurant, entertainment complex at the Old Times-Picayune building. But then the governor chimes in, the Top Golf proposal at the River District site is, quote, unnecessary. I mean, can you imagine being Louis Larcella? It's about a, $500, $600, $700 million project. Some say it could approach $1 billion. Part of the project, they announced a few months ago, 6 weeks ago, Top Golf is back. They're going to go on that big lot at Race and Annunciation, right in front of the Saleh apartment complex. And now the governor is at this competitor site saying, hey, the competitor that wants to build by the river, it's unnecessary. It's mind-blowing to me. Let the developers deal with that. They're already getting 2% that they're going to tax people and use that money to pay back their investment. You got the mayor at the, groundbreaking. You got the governor at the groundbreaking. What more do they need? That's not enough. The governor has to chime in that the Top Golf is unnecessary. So the Top Golf folks that got run off before basically have the mayor in the city, the governor of the state. We don't really want you coming here because you're messing with someone else who's going to build something similar. It's just mind-blowing to me. May the best man win. If both can get financing, if both are a go, they're in different neighborhoods. One is easy to go to. I mean, unless one is just clearly better and stands out from the other, For me, I'll probably go to the 504 one because it's closer to my house. It's right there on the interstate. I don't have to go down to the river. I don't have to go to the, down to the convention center area. But then again, that North Peters exit might be easier to access than going to the Mid-City site at Howard Avenue. Who knows? But chances are I'd probably go to the one that's at the Times-Picayune building, just by sheer convenience. I'm sure tourists and conventioneers and folks like that will go to the one on the river. Just the governor saying one is unnecessary. Hey, the Wendy's is great, not the Burger King. Mind-blowing. Hey, television audience, have a great weekend. Enjoy Jazz Fest. See you Monday at 4 o'clock. Cox Channel 4, Spectrum 333. Monday, 4 o'clock. Yeah, we do a talk radio program. Been doing that for nearly 30 years. That's my bread and butter. About 12, 15 years ago, we stuck a TV camera. That's simple. A stationary television camera. Just plopped it into the Buddy Diliberto River Cities Total Maintenance Studios and started simulcasting the talk radio program on television. We do the TV thing 4 to 5:30, radio till 6 o'clock. We're on YouTube now. Just a few months ago, added a second camera, putting us on YouTube live every weekday afternoon, 4 to 6 o'clock, right now on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search bar, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Doesn't cost anything. Send the link to friends or family. We're trying to grow our fledgling YouTube channel. But yeah, talk radio was our bread and butter. Then it morphed into talk radio and talk television. Now it's talk radio, talk television, live streaming. CoreyTalks.com on YouTube. Lots of ways to check out the program. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning. Lots of ways to check them out. Old School, I guess that's their walk-up locations with personal service. Today's preferred method of dry cleaning, folks, take advantage of Young's absolutely free pickup and delivery, home or office, East Bank or West Bank. The future of dry cleaning today, that would be Young's Express, their manless locker locations. Drop off your dirty stuff in a safe, secure Young's locker. Pick it up perfectly dry clean, youngsdrycleaning.com.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for asbestosmoneygrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me and were maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for freecash.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, hey, what can I do to give you a hand? He said, well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place. So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Broadcasting live from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. That's Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys at New Orleans Metro's #1 air conditioning operation. Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys, River City's Total Maintenance, air conditioning experts that come immediately. Honest, incapable of screwing you around. Air conditioning experts, diagnosing it right away. And speaking of right away, coming immediately because your AC's not working right. You're inconvenienced. You're stressed out. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. That's River City's Total Maintenance. Find them at NOLAAC.com. NOLAAC.com. Weekday, weekend, overnight, holiday, NOLAAC.com. NOLAAC.com. Every day, we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program, 5 o'clock powwow. Going down as we speak. Jazz Fest, day #1 going down as we speak. They roll for about another hour and 20 minutes or so till 7. Then it's the nighttime concerts. Dozens and dozens and dozens of bar rooms, music venues all over New Orleans. Got music going from 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight till late into the morning. Live music. Some of the best musicians in the world. The music capital of the world, New Orleans. No, it's just tough to beat Jazz Fest. 3 days this weekend, 4 days next weekend, all the nighttime concerts at small, medium, large venues. Tough to beat Jazz Fest. They'll do it again tomorrow, 11-7 out in Gentilly. Supposed to be a little rain tomorrow. We'll see. Sunday's supposed to be a better day than today. May not get into the 80s, maybe high 70s, 4 or 5 degrees cooler than it is right now. And right now is nice. It's low 80s. Humidity's like 40-something%. Just fantastic. An Inspector General City of New Orleans report, Mayor Cantrell's security team lacks written policies, lacks a chain of command, no internal paperwork, essentially just winging it. Governor John Bel Edwards saying 2 golf driving range entertainment complexes not needed, quote, unnecessary. The Top Golf proposal for the River District site is, quote, unnecessary, as he's with investors breaking ground at the 504 golf and entertainment venue. I don't get why the mayor or the governor care about these projects in the sense where they're for one and against another. If Burger King and Wendy's both want to serve hamburgers, bring them in. Let them figure out the market or not. I don't get it. We've gone through this exercise before where one driving range, multi-story driving range, sports bar, restaurant, entertainment venue was proposed. A second one gets proposed. The original one complains about the second one being proposed. One disappears, then the second disappears. Now it's a few years later, and not one, but both are back on the board. And once again, history repeating itself. The mayor and now the governor even having opinions, public opinions about these competing driving range, sports bar, restaurant venues. I'm blown away by this. Hey, Governor, if Topgolf wants to build up by the convention center, so be it. If you want to back the 504 Golf Entertainment Complex, go for it. But having an opinion on capitalism, like the Burger King's okay, the Wendy's is unnecessary, it's mind-blowing. It really is. Let the developers figure it out. The financial folks, the banks, let them figure it out. Topgolf's got deep pockets, lots of stroke. They apparently have the property under contract, at least a potential lease. They're ready to go. These 504 folks have the mayor and governor on their site. They're apparently ready to go. Why do you have to get involved and say it's unnecessary? That is unnecessary. That is unnecessary. You know, it's a great little jazz fest spot. Katie's in Mid-City, not far from the gates of Jazz Fest. And just, it's like a little mini Jazz Fest over there. Lots of New Orleans characters, lots of people that are going over to Katie's to get a quick bite, Bloody Mary, get a big to-go cup, a beverage to go, and head on over to Jazz Fest. Now, Katie's is the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. It truly is as New Orleans, as yatty as it gets. Why aren't you at Katie's right now, winding down your weekday, your weekend coming up? And don't forget about Katie's before and after Jazz Fest. Katie's in Mid-City. Corey Johnson with you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Hey, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed another edition of Fridays with Fletcher Mackel joining us, talking about the Saints draft. Brian Brigtsen, the defensive tackle from Clemson, selected 29th overall by your New Orleans Saints. Ideally, a plug-and-play guy like he's your starting defensive tackle. At the least, significant playing time, a major, not minor, a major contributor. The Saints could really use tonight's 40th pick overall and 71st pick overall in the 2023 draft. Their second-round pick and their third-round pick. They could really use a couple of starters. Let me put you this way. Yesterday's pick, the 2 today, you need 2 of those folks starting for the Saints. 2 of the 3 starting. Round 1 yesterday, there were 10 minutes between picks. Tonight, round 2, it goes down to 7 minutes. And then round 3, it's 5 minutes. And then they'll finish up the draft tomorrow morning. Rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7. Rounds 4 through 7 tomorrow. Tonight, rounds 2 and 3. Saints have the 40th overall pick, their second round selection, and the 71st overall pick, their third round selection. That, by the way, cranking up in about 15 minutes. Last night they started at 7. Tonight they start at 6. Tomorrow morning they start at 11 a.m. You can check out all that draft action on ESPN or go to the ESPN website. Corey Johnson with you, 5 o'clock power hour on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Friday, day number 1, weekend number 1, Jazz Fest 2023. How do you beat this weather? Makes you want to get outside and, grill some fish, grill a steak, do some ribs, some chicken, boil some crawfish. Absolutely perfect weather. You know where you can get those crawfish? By the sack, live by the sack, ready to bring home and boil them yourself. Rouse's Markets. You want to just consume those crawfish, eat those crawfish hot from the pot, steaming hot from the pot, seasoned right. Rouse's Markets. That's right. They got both kinds of crawfish. They got hot from the pot, ready to eat, and they got live from the sack that you bring home and boil yourself. Best quality, best price, best selection. It truly does taste like home. It's crawfish season. Rouse's Markets, your crawfish headquarters. Live from the sack, hot from the pot. It really is tough to beat Rouse's Markets. Over 60 years, over 60 Rouses. It's like when they're doing king cakes during Mardi Gras. That king cake cinnamon dough recipe is like 40, 50 years old. The Rouse family, home of Thibodeau, New Orleans folks, they've been boiling crawfish for decades and decades, generation after generation. They know what they're doing. It's not some out-of-town, out-of-state operation trying to figure out how to do crawfish. It's Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home. Yeah, Fletcher joined us last hour talking a little Saints draft, a little NBA playoffs. Von Lith, that Louisville transfer, committing to LSU. LSU's got a new starting point guard. She's like Mulkey, wears the ponytails like Mulkey did at La Tech 35 years ago. There's another, Van Lith is an honorable All-American. There's an All-American, either first or second team on the LSU campus right now. I forget where this guard is from, a shooting guard. I want to say Ohio State, but I think that's wrong. I can't remember where this guard is from, but she's an All-American. She's in the transfer portal. Kim Mulkey's got the national champs. She's got the number 1 recruiting class coming in. She's got All-American Angel Reese coming back. Now she's got Van Lith, this honorable All-American from Louisville, transferring over, and another All-American visiting as we speak. Number 1 recruiting class, number 1 transfer portal class, defending national champs.
Ford F-150, number 1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became number 1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
New Orleans City Councilman Freddie King joins us.
So I want to first say thanks for having me. And believe it or not, man, I used to listen to your show all the time driving home. So it's an honor to be on.
Freddie, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you on the program. Thanks.
The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Yep. This is kind of like a public service. You know, with Jazz Fest in town, hotel rooms booked up, restaurants in the French Quarter, the CBD, the Warehouse District, Treme, Bywater, they're slammed. Even some restaurants, you know, in Uptown or Mid-City might be slammed because of the influx of tourists. Fausto's Italian Bistro, some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian, is on Vets, about 6 blocks in from the Parish line. Convenient, easy to get to, and no tourists. Very few tourists. Their sister Irene's in the Quarter, slammed with tourists for Jazz Fest. But Fausto's, easy in and out, parking right in front. How about Treyen in Mandeville? 25 minutes from Lakeside Mall. This is the weekend to go. Get away from the tourists and the congestion, yet still go out and dine at a great restaurant. Trey Yen in Mandeville, 25 minutes from Lakeside Shopping Center. And how about some Lebanese, Middle Eastern food, Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette, the Carrollton section of Uptown, away from the tourists, off the beaten path, but easy to get to, Carrollton at Jeanette, right by the streetcar barn. Now, just throw out Italian, some of the best in the city, Chinese, some of the best in the city, and Middle Eastern, some of the best in the city. They have nothing to do with each other. 3 totally different cuisines, all excellent, all off the beaten path as far as where the tourists go. Nowhere near the Quarter or the Marigny or the Bywater or the Warehouse District, the CBD. That means convenient, easy in and out, don't have to deal with the crowds. Not 1, not 2, 3 good suggestions on where to dine. Lebanon's Cafe and Fausto's outdoor dining in this weather. Trey Yen has curbside delivery for that food. They'll literally walk it right out to your car. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. 5 o'clock Pow Hour on this Fantasy Friday. Jazz Fest day number 1. Tough to beat the weather right now. Low 80s, sunny, low humidity, 40-something%. Almost perfect. Sunday is supposed to be like today, but maybe 4 or 5 degrees cooler instead of low 80s for the temperature, maybe high 70s on Sunday. Tomorrow, some rain expected. It's supposed to start raining before the gates open at 11 and go until mid to late afternoon tomorrow. But also, it's like a 30% chance. So is it going to hit the whole metro area? Are some areas going to be spared? Maybe the Jazz Fest spot, the fairgrounds in Gentilly. Maybe they're not spared and they get rain, but is it going to be a torrential downpour or just something spotty that blows over in 15 minutes? You know what ideally we want? Overcast tomorrow, but that thin white cloud with no real water in it, no threat of rain, but a nice breeze blowing that maybe is a little more than normal, like 8 to 10 miles per hour instead of like 3 to 5. Cloud cover, keeping the sun off of everybody, but no rain. That would be ideal tomorrow for day 2 of Jazz Fest. Yeah, they'll go till 7 p.m. tonight. And then 11 to 7 tomorrow, 11 to 7 on Sunday. And then next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Plus all the nighttime concerts at all the different venues from Chicky Wawa to Maison to Dragon's Den to Maple Leaf to Saturn Bar to Tipitina's to House of Blues, wherever. I love what Hank and Maple Leaf do on Oak Street. They just go all night, essentially. 10 p.m., midnight, 2 a.m., just concerts going essentially all night. Be careful over there. You can get caught in that Oak Street triangle, like the Bermuda Triangle, between the Maple Leaf, Frenchie's Art Gallery, and Giacomo's Restaurant. There have been folks that have gone into that Oak Street triangle and have never returned. I was over at the Maple Leaf just last weekend. Well, actually 2 weekends ago. Not last weekend, the weekend before. Saw Frenchie by Frenchie's Gallery for a few minutes. Saw Jack from Giacomo's checking out his place. The Maple Leaf. I did not see Hank, but checked out some music at the Maple Leaf. No, the nighttime concerts during Jazz Fest, the 2 weekends of Jazz Fest can't be beat. It's the music capital of the world, New Orleans. It's what we do best. Festivals and parties, music and food. You got Jazz Fest for 7 days over 2 weekends. You got the nighttime concerts at dozens and dozens of music venues, some little, hole in the wall type places, and some like at the arena, at major venues Sanger. Mahalia Jackson. Now, if you love music and food and you like just laid back, casual atmosphere and people, it's tough to beat New Orleans this weekend and next weekend and Jazz Fest 2023. No, we just need the weather to hold out. That's the key. Sunday again is going to be better than today. Tomorrow, rain expected. But if I were going to Jazz Fest tomorrow, Saturday was my only day, I wouldn't let the rain deter me. I'd be like, green light tomorrow. 30% chance. There may be no rain in Gentilly. Who knows? Who knows? Uh-oh, he's waking up. What's up, Blue Boy? What's that, buddy? You're fired up about Jazz Fest 2023. Saints draft gets underway. NFL draft in a few minutes. Saints selecting in rounds 2 and 3. The 40th and 71st overall picks. What else, buddy? See you Monday.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM. WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Brightling time, 6 p.m.